Welcome to the Real and Real Estate Podcast, your go-to show for real estate success. Whether you're an agent aiming to crush it or a buyer or seller wanting the inside scoop, we're here to deliver expert advice, insider tips, and the real talk you need. Each episode, we chat with top industry pros to give you the facts, strategies, and inspiration you need to thrive in this business. Let's dive in and make big moves together. Hi, welcome back to the Real and Real Estate, where we talk to the experts and get the facts. And today I'm here with a very important expert, Dr. Noah St. John. He has lots of accolades. Welcome. I'm going to read, if you'll bear with me here, I'm going to read a little bit of information about you for those that don't know you. You're known worldwide for the zero friction CEO architect, the father of affirmations, which we'll talk about. You work with Hollywood celebrities, nine-figure company CEOs, and professional athletes. Noah is famous for helping people make in just 12 weeks what they made last year in 12 months. We all want to do that, right? He's also the #1 best-selling author of 25 books, and you can get a free zero friction gap analysis at noahstjohn.com. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, Gene. Great to be here today with you.
Well, you are a busy man. I noticed when I was doing a little research, Jenny McCarthy is one of your clients, associates, whatever.
Fans, let's just say fans.
Fans, yeah, she's definitely a fan. Yes, she is. So that's exciting. So
yes,
I know you're known worldwide. You're the CEO of the Zero Friction Architect. What does that mean exactly? What is a zero friction architect?
Absolutely. I love that we're asking this question, Gene, because it's so important. And it's really one of the main reasons that I've helped my clients make over $3 billion collectively over the last 30 years, meaning helping entrepreneurs, real estate professionals add multiple 6, 7, and even 8 figures, and actually a few even 9 figures. But anyway, if you look at your business, all right, every business problem you're facing right now is a friction problem. And that's why I created the zero friction solution. All right, so let's think about your goals. For everyone listening to this program, think about your goals. All right, so your goal in business might be, I want to add an extra $1 million this year. I want add an extra 10 million or 100 million, whatever the number is, okay, wherever you are in business. Or if you're just starting out, hey, I want to get to 10,000 a month. I mean, that's the dream, right? So wherever you are in business, but wherever you are, you want to get to the next level, right? We always hear about the next level.
Yes.
Exactly. But if you think about it, really, it's a destination that you want to get to. So it's like driving in your car, right? So let's say you're home and you want to go to the grocery store to get some milk and eggs. Well, that's your destination and that's why you're going there. So what do? You get in your car and you drive to the grocery store. Well, in your car, there are two forces at work. The driving force of the foot on the gas and the restraining force or the slowing force of your foot on the brake. Well, what is the brake? The brake is friction. That's exactly why you slow down and stop your car, right?
What a brake is. Yes.
Friction, exactly. Well, guess what? That is what's operating in your business right now. But the huge problem is most people, most entrepreneurs, most real estate professionals, they don't realize or see the hidden friction that is stopping them or slowing them down. And what I mean by that is millions and millions of people, entrepreneurs, real estate professionals are driving down the road of life with one foot on the brake. And so that's why I invented this. What's that?
Not good.
Not good. No, it isn't. And yet that's 95% of entrepreneurs and business owners out there are driving down the road of life with one foot on the brake. So what I've written 25 books about, as you mentioned a moment ago, is really this whole idea of, number one, how to recognize the hidden friction. And then number two, of course, release the brakes so that you can reach your goals 10 times faster and easier.
Absolutely. And I think the hard part's figuring out where that brake is or what is making you hit the brake.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you work with people to help get their foot off the brake and go from making in 12 weeks what they could possibly make, what they made last year. That's just amazing, mind-boggling. How do we do this? Or I know we can't do it all in 30 minutes, but give us a start.
Absolutely. We can make a good start. And again, as you mentioned, go to noahstjohn.com and you can get a free zero friction audit. So it's literally going to show you where the gaps are, where your foot's on the brake in your business. So right there on
Fantastic.
my website, noahstjohn.com, we have tons of free resources, including that zero friction gap audit. So one
I
of the
will
main
be taking that.
Absolutely. One of the main reasons that I've helped my clients make $3 billion collectively over the last 30 years is this concept of inner game and outer game. All right. Now, I'm going to paint you a picture here. All right. So imagine we
Okay.
have two circles that are connected in the middle. It's a Venn diagram. I love Venn diagrams.
Right.
Read my books. When you get my coaching or my online courses, you'll see I use tons of Venn diagrams because I'm such a nerd and we nerds love Venn diagrams. So this is my
There,
very
you
favorite
know
Venn
what? It
diagram.
says everything in a picture, so it's
Right,
wonderful.
exactly. It sure does.
Yeah.
Here's this, and where they overlap, you get that. Right. So with this one, this is my favorite Venn diagram, and it's very simple. It's just two circles that meet in the middle. The first circle is called inner game. Now, what is inner game? Inner game is everything that happens between your ears that you
Yes.
can't see directly, but it affects everything that you do. So, for example, I'm a keynote speaker, along with being a business coach and executive coach.
Right.
And as a keynote speaker, I get to speak with real estate organizations, teams all around the country and around the world. And one of the things that I like to say to my audience members is, what's one area of your life where your beliefs don't affect you? And here's what people do. They go, And I go, exactly. There's
Exactly.
no
Yeah.
place your beliefs don't affect you, right? Your beliefs
Right.
affect your health, your well-being, your stress level, how well you sleep at night, right? Your beliefs affect your wealth, your money, your business, your finances, whether you get that promotion, whether you land that client, and all of those things. And of course, your beliefs affect your relationships, right? Your personal life,
Absolutely.
your family life, your social life, and so forth. So it affects everything. But here's the interesting thing: you can't see a belief. You can only see the
True.
effects of a belief, right?
True.
And that's why you
True.
can be doing well in one area of your life, but maybe you're stuck or struggling in another. For example, maybe your health is good, but you're not making the money you want. Or vice versa. Maybe you're making great money,
Right.
but oh, your health is suffering. Or your relationships are suffering because you're working all the time, right?
Right.
And so it's not cookie cutter, one size fits all. It's very personalized, customized approach that we take, whether it's one-on-one coaching or group coaching. It's very personalized, customized for each individual or team or organization. Okay. So that's the inner game. That's the first circle. Then we have the second circle, which is your outer game. Your outer game is everything you can see directly. It's right there in front of your face. It's the customer service, marketing, sales, offers, funnels, traffic, all of that stuff that you've
Tangible.
probably spent lots of time and money and effort on. But here's the funny thing: it's only when you master your inner game and your outer game that you have the phenomenon called success. Let me give you a quick example of this. A
Please
real
do.
life story from one of my clients. So, one of my clients is a real estate professional named Tamisa out in Arizona. Great personalities, a lot of fun. And she was a self-described seminar junkie. That's what she called herself. She was going to all these seminars. And maybe some people listening can relate, going to all these seminars, listening to all the gurus. And, she was doing well. She had, making six figures and doing well, but she couldn't break through that income ceiling. She just had that
Mhm.
ceiling on her income that no matter how many seminars, how many gurus, she just kept hitting that ceiling. And then a friend referred her to me, recommended me, and Tamisa joined my 12-week breakthrough program, which, as you mentioned, I'm known for helping people
12
make more in
weeks.
12 weeks than in the previous 12 months while working less. And in the first 2 weeks of coaching with me, she tripled her investment.
Oh
Tripled
my
in
God.
2 weeks. We hadn't even got to the money
That's a,
part yet. So that was just by identifying and helping her, using my methodology, she was able to identify, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I was holding myself back in all these different ways. I didn't realize I had my foot on the brake, and boom,
right.
triple in 2 weeks. Talk about an ROI. So that's an example of how powerful this is.
That is amazing. I just, I mean, who wouldn't want to do that, right? Wouldn't want to do.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And let's face it, that's the number one fear that people have. Oh, if I invest in this thing, if I buy this, is it just going to be another one of those things that sits on my shelf? I call that shelf help. A lot of people have a lot of
Right.
shelf help, And of course, we don't want any more shelf help. You want help that helps, that you get that ROI. So how about tripling in 2 weeks? I mean, That's pretty amazing. But,
I don't
and
know
you can go
anyone
to
that
my
wouldn't want
website,
to
you
do
can
that.
see hundreds of examples of that, videos and testimonials. I mean, like Jenny McCarthy and many others. But I mean, it's
Yeah.
all right there because that's how powerful the system is.
Well, I definitely want to take that free analysis. And now, time for a short break.
Ready to jumpstart your social media strategy? I'm Katie Lance, and the Get Social Smart Academy is your go-to for smarter content planning. Get weekly trainings, Canva templates, and AI tools to save time and grow your business. Go to katielance.com/academy to join us today.
And one thing I find too, I just have to mention while we're talking is you're talking about the lady that went to all these seminars. A lot of times they go to the seminars and then all the notes they took just sit on their desk or on a shelf
Exactly, exactly.
and nothing ever happens with them.
That's
So
right.
if you're going to spend the time to go, you really kind of need to review your notes or what you've learned,
Yes, that's the
right?
most common thing that people tell me, Gene. You're absolutely right. And again, that's a form of shelf help, right? Oh, I got all the notes and right on the shelf. And it's like, and isn't that an example of your foot on the brake? Now, of course, nobody wants to do
Absolutely.
this. Nobody means to do it. You're going to this seminar, you're buying the course or whatever it might be. And of course, you want the return on your investment. But that's the thing. Most entrepreneurs, real estate professionals that I coach and have coached over the last 30 years, one of the biggest things they're facing is overwhelm. They just don't know where to start. So you come home with the big, a notepad full of notes, and you're
Right.
like, oh my gosh, and where do I start? And so it's so easy to just set it on the shelf and continue with what you were doing. So that's a great example of getting people out of overwhelm and cutting through the clutter. So a lot of people, most people that I coach, they really need to have a stop doing list. Because what's so
Ah,
funny is you leave with this to-do list, which is 10 miles
right.
long, and what are you going to do? You end up doing nothing. So what I help people with is the reverse of that. It's a stop doing list. Do you ever notice that there's a lot of things you're doing that you probably shouldn't be doing?
Oh,
And that's
yes.
going to cost you. That's another example of your foot on the brake. So boom, we get rid of that. We can skyrocket.
Yeah, a lot of that is it's unconscious. People don't even realize they're doing it
Right.
until someone points it out or till you
That's,
realize.
that's right.
I mean, that's so anyway, which are unconscious habits,
That's right.
those are not easy to change. Even the habits you know about are not easy to change. I've,
That's exactly right.
yeah, you know you're doing it wrong, but how do you change
That,
it? And I
that's
think a
right.
lot of that is one, and please correct me, one is recognizing that it's not good, it's not helping you,
Mhm.
and then repetition to change it. Is
Well,
that
one of the
pretty
things
good?
that I teach in my power habit system is what a habit actually is. See, this is a big
Okay.
thing that people don't understand because hey, we weren't taught this stuff in school. We were taught
No,
algebra and calculus and what good, when are you using that? Come on,
biology.
what are you doing? They never teach us anything useful. And I mean, I got straight A's in school, and what good was that? It didn't do me any good. So anyway, the point is, one of the things that people need to understand is what a habit actually is. That's what I talk about in my books like Power Habits or my online course like Power Habits Academy, and of course in our coaching. So very
Right.
briefly, a habit is 5 steps. The cue, routine, reward, craving, and belief. Now, very simply, it means this. The cue is the trigger, right? So a trigger could be anything in your life. It could be you wake up, that's a trigger, right? And
Mm.
so that's the first thing that happens. Then you have the cue, then you have a routine. All right, so let's say you wake up, and what's the first thing you do when you wake up? Well, most people check their phone, right? Oh, they're checking their phone. Is that a really great habit to get into? Not really.
Maybe not.
No.
No, not first thing.
No. And then what's another thing that people do first thing in the morning? They worry. Oh, man, how am I going to pay mortgage this week? Oh, man, I don't have any money. Oh, how am I going to climb? Very first thing you do, you're worrying. Okay. Is that a good habit? Of
Negative
course not.
mindset. No.
Exactly. So these are just a few examples, right? So cue, routine, then you have a reward. Now that's weird. What do you mean a reward? What could possibly be a reward for a bad habit? Well, believe it or not, the human brain is wired for safety, right? It's wired for safety and security. So believe it or not, it's like a security blanket, right? So wake up, worry, and you know what? You're in that safety zone. As weird as that sounds, but what we do is we actually look at that and say, well, is that the reward you really want? No, because the human brain has a reward for safety and security, but it also has a reward for success. But isn't it funny that success is usually the opposite of security? Why is that? Because you have
Right.
to do something you're scared of, right?
You've got to get past that hurdle of security.
Exactly. So another great example, of course, of a habit that people want to break is procrastination. right? That's the number one habit that
Yeah.
people come to me saying, "Hey, no, I really need to stop procrastinating." Well, what do you mean by that? Well, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not doing it. Okay, so then we dig down on that. Well, why are you doing that? Because that's what procrastination really is. You have the cue is I think of the thing I'm supposed to do, and then what do? I do? I do something else. Right? I know I should be making that
Exactly.
phone call.
Distracted.
Right. I should be making a video, posting on social media or doing ads or reaching out to that prospect or whatever it might be. But you know what? I'll go watch Netflix. You know what I mean? So,
Do
and
you
that's the
think,
point because it's safe, right? Sitting there watching
right?
Netflix is safe. Your brain's like, oh,
Right.
this is
It's
great. And guess what?
change
Your
is
brain doesn't care
scary.
about your bank account. I'm talking about the ancient human brain, the caveman brain, we call it. The caveman brain is like, ugh, I don't care. I don't care if I don't have any money. I don't care if I'm living on the street. At least I'm not scared. And you're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense. But it really does if you think about it.
Yeah, because change for most people is scary, and it's easier to not do it because
That's right.
what if I don't do it right? What if I fail? Or
That's right.
there's
Exactly.
always a what if.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I call a form of, here's another term for everybody, is called your head trash. All right. So your head trash is the voice in your head that says, I can't do it because, or this
Right.
won't work for me because, I'll give you a perfect example. I was speaking at a seminar in Los Angeles for 1,000 business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs. These are 7, 8, and 9-figure company, presidents and,
Yes.
big, big people. And so I was walking off the stage and just finished my presentation. A man came up to me out of the audience and he said, Noah, I want to hire you as my coach. You are the coach I've been looking for. Now, I didn't know this man from Adam. Ironically, his name was Adam. A true story. You can go to my
Okay.
website and watch this video along with everybody else. But anyway, so I said, okay, well, what's going on? And he goes, well, Noah, I own this company. We're at 7 figures and we got to 7 figures really fast. But you know what? We have been stuck at the same level for the past 4 years. He said, 4 years we've been stuck and we can't break through that income ceiling.
Yeah.
And he said, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'd hired every coach, every marketing guru, named all the big names. And he said, we can't break through that income ceiling. And he said, as soon as I heard you speak about inner game, outer game, head trash, foot on the brake, friction, everything you just said, he said, I knew that you were the coach I've been looking for. So he literally decided to hire me on the spot. That's why I love working with high
Wow.
achievers, right? They make decisions quickly and
Get it
firmly. They
done.
don't dilly-dally. Oh, I got to think about it. Let me run the spreadsheet. Let me just do that. No, let's move. Let's go. And so that's how I knew he was going to be very successful. Anyway, so he hired me. I coached him and his leadership team for 18 months. And guess what? In that 18 months, we were able to get his company that had been stuck at the same level for the previous 4 years to over 20 million in revenue. That's a
Wow.
600% increase in less than
Incredible.
18 months. Now, get this, most CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs would be thrilled with a 10% increase, a 15%. They'd be thrilled. 600%, you know? And it's
Inconceivable.
called,
Yeah.
we call it hockey stick. You're going along like this, and then, we put my formula in there, and then we go, whoop, we just go through the roof. So that's an example of how pervasive this is and really how much it's costing you if you don't do this.
If you don't, right, right. I love the analogy.
Mhm.
I also love the foot on the brake because I'm from Houston and there's all kinds of traffic. That's a great
You're always
analogy for
driving your
us.
foot on the brake.
Exactly. Or back, yeah, totally back and forth. So your freedom lifestyle formula is pretty
Mhm.
much what we've been talking about.
Mhm.
Right. Now, people want to find out more about you. We go to, if they want to do the free, I'm sorry, let me look it up. If they want to do the free analysis, it's noahstjohn.com,
That's
correct?
it. That's my name. Just like it sounds. NOAHSTJOHN. Noah St. John. So I have both books covered, Old Testament and New Testament, just in case.
Love it. Love it. Along with your 25 books. Now, so your website, they can
Mhm.
find everything on your website,
Yeah, so we
right?
have we have coaching, we have online courses. If they want to talk to me or one of my coaches, so like if you're like Adam
Right.
and you want to just get this, like let's move, let's go, let's get that hockey stick growth. You can also go to breakthroughwithnoah.com. I'm known as the breakthrough coach, so easy to remember. So
Okay.
breakthroughwithnoah.com. And what we do is we give you a 15-minute business evaluation and we'll literally see exactly where you're stuck and give you a 3-step plan to, get that hockey stick realistic growth. So that's breakthroughwithnoah.com. If you know you want to just go and let's do this. And if you want to explore some of our free resources or my books or my coaching, just good old noahstjohn.com.
.com. All right. Oh gosh, I had a question just went right out of my mind, but real estate, because
Yes.
most of my listeners are
Yes.
in real estate.
Yes.
You work with real estate agents,
Tons.
brokers.
Tons.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars in ROI. Yeah, it's huge.
Wow.
And
That's
why is
incredible
that? Because so much of real estate is up here in your brain, right? So much of the
yes,
reason that people are struggling is because real estate, let's face it, is a very sales heavy process, right? So anything with sales, you're dealing with human psychology. When you're dealing with human psychology, you're dealing with the human brain. Well, last time I checked, the human brain, human psychology hasn't changed in the last 100,000 years or so, and it ain't changing anytime soon. So that's
right.
exactly what I'm fixing, what I've been fixing for 30 years. I mean, I have so many examples of real estate professionals who I would give you a quick one. Brian
Yes,
from
please.
Boston, when I met him, he heard me speak at a seminar. He got coaching from me right away. Again, a high achiever, fast mover. And when I met him, he was, working in Boston, doing well. He made $95,000 in 12 days of coaching with me. 12 days,
Whoa.
$95,000 in commissions. And guess what? Because he started making all this money, he decided to move from Boston, and now he has a thriving real estate business in Aruba. From Boston to Aruba, you're welcome.
My goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So
And
you
I have
work
many,
with,
so many more. Yeah.
now will you work with people just starting out?
Of course, absolutely.
Getting
And
started?
look, if let's say you haven't broken that 10K a month, yet, you may
Right.
not be ready for coaching yet, but that, you can get one of my online courses or books or whatever. See, so I have all different levels, look, one of my clients right now, I'm coaching him through a 9-figure exit, so he's going to walk away with a very,
Wow.
very nice check. So, we've got 9 figures, but we've also got people starting out. So it really doesn't matter. Again, we're dealing with the human brain, human psychology. And I'm just, as you can tell, very passionate about helping people
Yes.
and making a difference.
No, that definitely comes through. And I know a lot of people want to go into sales or
Hmm.
whatever. And you're right, it is sales,
Hmm.
service oriented business.
Hmm.
And they're introverts, which
That's right.
it's hard for people. And that's one of the feet on the brakes, I think, as well.
Yes.
It's
It
like,
can
well,
be.
it's hard to
Yes.
talk to people. Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Yes.
I actually have a lot of introvert tendencies, but I forced myself to get out there and talk to people. And
Hmm.
it's like once you get started, then you're more on the gas than you are on the brake, but you gotta first get your foot off the
Well,
brake.
I am an introvert too, Gene, which you probably wouldn't guess by me talking right now, because of course I'm being very extroverted at the moment. So really, I'm an ambivert, which I bet a lot of people listening to this are. And ambivert means you're
Right.
both. It's kind of like being ambidextrous, right? You have right and
Right.
left-handed tendencies. Well, an ambivert is exactly that. Sometimes you're introverted, sometimes you're extroverted. So like when I'm on an interview, when I'm on stage, I'm very extroverted. If I'm at a party, I'm not the guy, with the center of the attention, with the lampshade on my head. I'm standing in the
Right.
corner with my wife, and I'm very quiet. So, but anyway, my point about that is that's the beauty of what I do with the zero friction solution and, the zero friction architecture. The framework is it doesn't matter, because what I noticed is that people in sales who are successful tend to be extroverts, right? I mean, because you're talking, you're very good at the gift of
Right.
gab, blah, blah, blah. I'm not that. I'm a shy, quiet guy, normally. So how can I build a system that overcomes my natural tendencies to be
Hmm.
very quiet and shy and introverted? And so that's what this represents, right? So that means it doesn't matter whether you're introverted, extroverted, or ambivert. It works because it's a system. You just plug it in, and literally, you fill in the blank. Like with my 12-week breakthrough that I was telling you about, with Tamisa and
Right.
many others. Literally, I'm giving you the blanks. We fill in the blanks of exactly number one, why your foot's on the brake, and number two, of course, giving you the program, the system, the framework, the
I
formula to
get it.
get your foot off the brake so
Off the
you don't
brake.
have to work so hard. You don't have to like force yourself to do things. We're working with who you actually are, not trying to change who you are.
I love that. I love that because as we talked before, change is scary. So before
Yes.
we have to cut here and move on, anything you want to bring up or mention or say before we run out of time?
I just want to say that for all of the folks listening who are real estate professionals, that is one of the areas that I've really helped people make a lot of money, but more importantly, win their lives back. Because what good is having a lot of
Yes.
money if you don't have a life? So
Right.
let's face it, there's a lot of miserable millionaires out there. We don't want that. We want to have that freedom lifestyle, right? And that's where you have the
Right.
time, energy, relationships, and the money, all four elements. That's what I call the freedom lifestyle. You have the time that you want. So you can go to your kids' soccer games, you can go to the ballet recitals, you own your life again. And guess
You
what?
don't
Most
miss
people
it.
don't own their lives, right? They're working way too
No.
hard for not enough money. Right. So you have the time, the energy so that you're happy, joyful, grateful instead of being sad, resentful, and angry all the time. The relationships, the personal, the business relationships that you want. And of course, the money. Money is very important. They say, oh, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, as the great philosopher David Lee Roth
By
once said,
some.
money may not be able to buy happiness, but it can buy a yacht so you can pull right up next to it. Great idea.
Okay, now that I hadn't heard. I love that. I love
That's a
that.
good quote, huh?
It's all about, it's wonderful. It's all about, and I have a friend that owns a yacht. I'm going to mention that to them. Uh,
Bingo. That's right.
it's all about balance. Well,
Indeed.
thank you so much. I want everybody to go to noahstjohn.com, check out all of his resources, all of the things that he offers, and hopefully they'll be giving you a call to do some coaching. I'm
Love
going to
it.
be doing that. Thank you so much. This has
My
been
pleasure.
fabulous. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real and Real Estate Podcast. I hope today's insights have inspired and empowered you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share the podcast with anyone who might benefit. Have questions or a topic you'd like us to explore? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep moving towards success.